Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
Huge win for the Philadelphia Flyers. They are the bounce back kids. That's what they do. They bounce back. It is a common theme with this squad. Now, you can look at that and say that is a positive. Whenever things go wrong, the next tilt, they find a way to make it right. But you can also look at the fact that they are putting themselves in that position. Why can't it just be 2 great games in a row, which does happen throughout the season? They have put together great stretches, but you understand what I'm saying. Why does it have to be something negative and then they always bounce back? Why does there need to be a bounce back? It should just be great hockey. But listen, I am proud of this team, all right? I'm not taking anything away from them. To go into Florida after falling apart late against the Islanders, this was much needed, and they did it. I wasn't able to watch the Islanders game, and I think that might be good for my health, for my mental health and physical health when it comes to this Flyer squad, but I know what happened, all right? And I'm not even going to look at it. I'm not even going to see what occurred. I didn't even want to see the last goal. I didn't want to see any of it. I knew what happened. They went down 3-0 early. They fought back to make it 3-3, and they fell apart late under a minute left. I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to think about it, but it's crucial when discussing this game because they let a point slip, and that was a stinging loss. That wasn't just, all right, fellas, listen, we didn't have it tonight. Let's get together and let's figure out how to get 2 points in the next game. No. That's one where you walk away and you lose sleep at night. It bothers you. You won't stop thinking about it the entire flight home, the entire ride home. Whenever you are awake, you are processing, wow, we really let 2 points slip like that because the race is so tight. So I'm super proud of Carter Hart and for this team to respond the way that they did. Now, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this hockey game, but before we do, we need to hear a word from my sponsor, SeatGeek. Are you looking to buy tickets to go to a game? Not just the Flyers or the NHL, but the NBA, college basketball, even a concert. If you use the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout page, you will receive $20 off of your total purchase. It's a no-brainer to use the promo code BROADS today. So the Flyers came out red hot in this one. Bob got pulled early. The Flyers scored 3 goals, bang, just like that. JVR finds one right where he always finds one, right in his wheelhouse in the front of the crease. Sanhiem throws a puck on net. I thought it was going to go in because when you look at Sanheim's statistics, he always scores goals against Bobrovsky. He couldn't get it past them, but it's okay because JVR was there to clean up the garbage. 1-0 Flyers. Then here comes Tyler Pitlick down the wall, and with a nip, and I mean a nip, he finds Twine. 2-0. Wow, what a blistering shot. And then to make it 3-0 in the same period, this is the first period, Aube-Kubel. You got to give credit to the bottom 6 forwards. JVR, Pitlick, okay. And then that fourth line with Bunnaman, Raffl, Aube-Kubel. Bunnaman has been providing spark. He's been playing well. He hasn't stood out to the point of producing a ton of points or dominating the game. But for that fourth line role, he has absolutely held his own. And you can see that he's getting more comfortable out there. Just playing his way, letting the game come to him, not trying to do too much, and that's all you need to do. As a fourth liner, you got to be simple, but you need to credit that fourth line and that bottom 6 as a whole. In the second period, to go up 4-0, Scott Laughton finds the back of the net. I mean, it's crazy. At one point, I was questioning, are the top 6 going to do anything? Is Claude Giroux, Sean Couturier, Voracek, connecting? Are they going to step up to the plate at all? In the third period, it wasn't pretty. I felt nervous. I did. Because bang, just like that, with the snap of the fingers, it's a 4-2 hockey game. And all the momentum, and I mean all of it, was in the Panthers' hands. Carter Hart comes up huge with a save that could have been game-saving, Because if it was 4-3 with that much time left in the third, everyone's clinching a little bit. Everyone is really on their heels. So Carter Hart came up big. And this was a big game for Carter Hart as a whole because the storyline surrounding him is he can't win on the road. He's a great home goalie, but the splits are bad, and it's not good for Carter Hart when he's away from the Wells Fargo Center. This was huge, and I think it's big that he came off to a good start early because there are times where the opposing team scores super quickly and one goal squeaks by him, and then he somewhat loses it. He's not there. The poise isn't the same. Maybe the mental aspect is not the same either. Sometimes he gets thrown off with allowing an early goal. So for him to look good, to be smooth, just to make everything easy, I think that was one of the reasons why he was so successful in this hockey game. What ended up happening, though, after the Panthers came in this big wave, Claude Giroux hit Sean Couturier, and he had an absolute rip top shelf to make it 5-2. That's where I could breathe a little bit easier. I didn't have the brown paper bag in my mouth trying to collect myself. I could breathe. I could feel good. I didn't have to stress or hold on to the remote tightly. Whew. You never want to get in those moments. But that wasn't all. The Flyers continued after that. Well, JVR ended up getting rocked from behind by Huberdeau. What the hell was that? And JVR gets up and starts giving him some tussle, starts throwing it around a little bit, as he should have. Good for him. He didn't wait for one of his teammates to do it. He got up and he started to deliver, and he started the scrap. Because he felt disrespected, and he should have felt disrespected because it's a 5-2 hockey game. It's late in the third period, and that's a joke. There's no reason to do it. But Robert Hagg, of all people, scores on that power play. And the Flyers' power play has been abysmal. I've talked about it for games now. Literally after every single game, it seems like I come in here and I start talking to you, and I mention how pathetic the power play is. How about Robert Hagg? He's been playing really well. I'm going to be honest with you. He's been playing really well. The kid deserves to stay in the lineup. Speaking of defensemen, though, Travis Sanhiem did get banged up. I think I heard Jim Jackson talk on the postgame, and he said there was one shift in the third period where he played 11 seconds. So essentially, he did not play in the third period at all, is what that is. Stayed on the bench, did not look good. So we're going to have to hear what's going on there. And now the conversation with Shane Gostisbehere comes up. And are the Flyers trying to ship him out at the trade deadline? Is Sanheim's injury going to keep him out long term? There's a lot of questions now surrounding him. But as a whole, the entire defensive core, very strong. Matt Niskanen, 2 points. Ivan Provorov logged a ton of minutes. Robert Hagg is playing with a ton of confidence. Justin Braun made some good plays out there, and just standard good defensive defenseman plays, getting sticks on puck, making a good outlet pass. I got to give props to the way the D-core is playing, and as I stated in the last game that I recapped, they're producing on the stat sheet too. It's not just about playing solid defense. They are contributing on the score sheet consistently on a nightly basis. It's crazy to think about. Speaking of stats, JVR 3-point night. The guy's playing great right now. That pass that he had to, was that the Scott Laughton goal? Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. From behind the net, and he just delivers it, but the way he uses his stick to create the lane properly, to dish the biscuit like that, come on now. Come on. Earlier this season, he was struggling big time. He's playing his best hockey this season, and this team as a whole is rolling smooth. They really are. And when you look at the standings, the Columbus Blue Jackets, they lost in overtime, so they did get a point. But you can see the Hurricanes, the Panthers, those type of teams that are right around that second wild card spot, they're starting to drift in the wrong way. But the only way for that to stay that way is if the Flyers win hockey games, if they continue to grab points. They have a tough opponent up next, and that is the Tampa Bay Lightning on the road. It's an afternoon Saturday game. So it's not going to be easy. Right now, it's the Islanders, the Blue Jackets, the Flyers, all within that third spot in the Metropolitan and the 2 wild card spots. That's crazy. I mean, think about the Metropolitan right now. It's an absolute dogfight. They're going to have to find ways to snag points every single time they possibly can. They can't allow those teams to sneak back in and creep back in. There's a lot of hockey to be played, no doubt about it. So there's a lot of things that can occur. But right now, it's starting to look good for the Flyers, and they have to continue to be playing the way that they're playing to make sure it stays that way. 32, 19, and 7. Isn't that incredible? It's truly remarkable what this team is doing. The way that they don't let the lows affect them the next night. Seriously. You know that they were staring at the wall after that tilt against the Islanders. Even if they lost in overtime, fine. But they would have grabbed that extra point. And those points, they are literally life and death right now when it comes to those players. Every little point, it means so much. It matters that much. Let's see what they can do against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Because guess what? It ain't going to be easy. Absolutely not. Different environments. There will be a crowd in Tampa Bay. People will be there, unlike in the Florida Panthers building. What a terrible place to play at. Really. I mean, how do you get up? How do you get juiced? How do you get energized when nobody's in the stands? Now, I'll tell you what, if you're a player, though, you don't got to worry about that state taxes. So, from a player's perspective, by all means, I'll play there any day of the week. I'll play there any single season because I get to keep more of my money. But thinking about a team that gets to play in Philadelphia and they play on the East Coast cities, like the big East Coast cities, and they play in these big markets, and when they play the Bruins, it's sold out and it's crazy and it's just a wild environment. And then you go play Florida. And you got to find a way to get yourself going. And they're professional athletes. They should be able to do that. But there's still something to be said when you know the building is going to be loud and crazy and wild. Or if it's going to be where you can hear your teammates calling for the puck across the ice. You could be on the bench and you can hear what's going on in the far corner by the goalie because no one's talking because it's like a baseball game. Although I did hear some Flyers people in the building, some Flyers chants getting involved. But I think you hear that in most buildings just because of the Flyers fan base as a whole. I would have never imagined in a million years this team being where they are right now, but I couldn't be happier. I love the fact that the Sixers are on break, and I'm still going to be talking about the Sixers without a doubt just because of the controversy and the drama that surrounds that team. But with them being on break and having meaningful sports going on, that's important to me. And the fact that, even though it's just against the Florida Panthers, knowing that there was a big game on the line because of how many points the Flyers need and because of the wild card race, knowing that they needed this win badly and knowing how brutal the loss was against the Islanders, it was so meaningful. I had to sit down. I couldn't miss this game. That's where the Flyers are at right now. One thing I really like about this squad is if the bottom six aren't rolling, okay, Kevin Hayes might have 2 points. Sean Couturier might have 3 points. Jake Voracek probably had a sick assist. But if there's a game where the top guys aren't going, you have your bottom guys step up. And that's what good teams do. This is a deep team. Could it be deeper? Yeah, I think it could be deeper. Remember, Nolan Patrick is still out, and everything that occurred with Oscar Lindblom definitely affected the roles of certain players right now, and that is so unfortunate still what happened to Oscar Lindblom, and I am praying that everything works out for him, absolutely. The team could be deeper, is my point, but the fact that they're playing the way that they are and stepping up when needed, you're getting put in a spot to succeed, and people are making the most of their opportunities. That doesn't happen all the time. That doesn't happen every year, and it doesn't happen with certain players. But it is right now with this team, and that's what matters. Even on the defensive side, like I said, Robert Hagg. Here's a chance, Robert Hagg. If you told me before the season started that Robert Hagg would be playing consistently, I'd probably say, okay, we're doomed. Oh, woohoo. I'm so happy. Woohoo. Well, he is, and he's making the most of his opportunities. So let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe, and I will see you next time.